Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Chema Stitches and my name is Chema. Today we're going to be making a two-piece, a very free shift blouse and a semi pencil skirt. The blouse is going to be a high-low blouse. The front is going to be about 34 inches and the back is going to be about 43 inches. And so I am marking out a length of 35 inches, so we're going to be using 1 inch as the hem. The front is going to be fully covered with lining, while the back lining is going to stop exactly where the front stops, because you won't be able to see the difference when you wear the dress, and that is the style I am recreating. The shoulder measurement I'm working with is 16 inches, but I'm going to be adding 1 inch to it because I want this dress to be free and we want to have a little bit of an ease around the arm area, which will also extend to the waist and hip area. So for that, I'm going to be adding a little bit extra to the measurement. Now, instead of marking out 8 inches, I'm marking out 8.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to be coming down by 1 inch for the shoulder slanting, and then from the shoulder slanting I'm going to come down for the armhole. To get your armhole, you divide your bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inches, and for this person's measurement the bust is 39 inches, and when you divide it by 6 and add 1.5 inches you'll be getting 8 inches. So I'm going to be coming down by 8.8 inches. So I'm adding 8 inches extra for that free effect that I'm talking about. And then from the shoulder I'm going to come down to 11.5 inches, that is the bust line, and then the bust 39 divided by 4, instead of 9.8 I'm going to be marking 10 inches and then adding 1 inch for ease and then 1 inch for sewing allowance. So now I'm going to bring down the shoulder measurement of 8.5 inches down so I can curve out the armhole. So I'm going to fold my tape in half to get the middle of the armhole, mark it in by half of an inch, and then I'm going to go ahead and roll it. Now from the half of an inch you are going to connect it to your shoulder slanting and then use the curved part of your ruler to cover to your armhole. And then for the neckline I'm going to be using a neckline of 4 inches for the width, and then for the depth for the front I'm going to come down to 6 inches. I'm going to mark out the 6 inches, use my curved ruler to cover the neckline, and then connect the neckline to the 1 inch shoulder slanting, and then after which I'm going to be adding half an inch all around, both on the shoulder, on the neckline and on the armhole. This is for sewing allowance. Okay, now around the hip line, that's the hem of the dress, I'm going to come down there and I'll mark out like 14 inches, and then I'll add 1.5 inch for seam allowance, that's for ease, and I'm going to connect it from the armhole. This is because we want the dress to be free and that's the shape we want to have for it. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and then use the front to cut out the back, and in the case of the back I'm going to be adding 1 inch for zip allowance and also making the back piece 10 inches longer than the front, just so we can have the high-low effects that I'm talking about. For the back neckline, I'm going to be using the same 4 inches for the width, and then I'm going to come down by half an inch for the depth, and I'm going to just go ahead and cut it out, and of course extend the back piece by 10 inches and also go ahead and cut this all out, and then do well to hold down with a pin so that it doesn't shift, and then open up your zip allowance. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the neckline for the front now. And so from the 6 inches I'm going to come down by 2 inches and then give it a little curve around there. This curve is going to be an opening. When cutting out the neckline, I decided to go up by half an inch again, so the neckline is now going to be 3.5 inches plus the half an inch that I came out with. That will be for the seam allowance. So I decided not to use the 4 inches that I initially wanted because it will be too open, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut out this opening. Now for this opening you are not going to make it too wide. From the curve I already made, I'm just going to go ahead and cut in between, leaving like 1/4 of an inch around for the seam allowance. Now I'm going to cut out the lining piece for both the front and the back using the front piece. When I'm cutting the lining piece for the back, I'm going to be adding 1 inch for zip allowance. Also for the keyhole we cut out at the front neckline, I'm going to be cutting it open. It's time to cut out the sleeve. I'm going to be making the sleeve 11 inches, and then I'm marking out 3.8 inches and I'm going to curve it. To get this 3.8 inches, divide your bust measurement by 12. Whatever you get, that's what you're going to be using for that, and then divide your bust measurement by 6 again and add 1.5 inches. That will be to get your width of the sleeve, and then I'm going to divide that top apex into half by slanting it, and then divide the slanted line in half, come up by half of an inch and use it to curve the apex of the sleeve, and then turn your ruler the other way and then use it to mark out the end part of the sleeve. I will be adding 1.5 inch allowance for the sleeve because the sleeve is going to be equally as free just like the body of the dress. I will also be adding 1.5 inch sewing allowance for the bicep of the sleeve and adding a bit of half an inch for ease because we want it to be free but not too free, just like the body of the dress. And then at the top of the sleeve, I'm going to be adding half an inch for joining. That is for joining the sleeve to the main bodice. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the sleeve and then use it to cut out the other piece. So I'll be cutting two of this sleeve obviously, and then we're going to hem the sleeve edge. This blouse is going to be having a pocket because every free dress is finer when it has a pocket to go with it. To cut out the pocket, I'm going to be using my hand to trace out the pattern of the sleeve, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Of course, you cut out 4 pieces of this. Sorry I did not film the drafting of this basic skirt. I hope you guys know how to draft a basic skirt. If not, you can check out my other tutorials. I have so many tutorials on this channel on how to draft a basic skirt. You can check it out. So this is the basic skirt. Like I said, it's not going to be too pencil, just a straight skirt. This is the skirt already drafted. A basic skirt pattern. I assume you already know how to draft this. So I'm going to cut this out and use it to cut out the back piece and add the zip allowance at the back. So basically this is the hip line and this is the waistline, and this you see my dart line, and I like to give this V shape at the end of my dart so that when I am taking out the dart on the fabric, it makes it easier. Also, I cut my skirt usually 2 inches or 1.5 inches longer than the lining piece so that when I turn it inside out, it's going to give a neat finishing at the hem. I hope that's how you do yours. If not, then this is a new method you can try, and thank me later. I've cut out the lining piece. This is the back piece, the longer part, and look at this. Now because this part is going to be showing at the back, I don't want the lining to be showing there. So in place of the lining, I cut out this to cover up the space. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this to the lining first. There are 2 of them for the 2 back pieces. Okay, so I'm going to sew it to the lining so that it will extend the length of the lining. Okay, so this is going to be what is going to be completing this place, the full length of this one. Okay, meanwhile I'm going to be using the lining to turn the side inside out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and sew this side inside out. I'll do the same thing for the front piece. There's going to be a little bit of, so I'm going to be placing the lace for the front piece before I do that. I mark out a 12.5 inches box all the way to the length I want, which is 21 inches. Now I'm going to take the front piece, I'm going to place it on this, and I'm going to retrace the neckline. And then I'll take this out. And then from here, I'm going to mark out the shoulder to the bust line, 11.5 inches, shoulder to the under bust, 15.5 inches. Now I'm going to be taking out like 0.75 inches from this measurement, so I'm marking it in like so, marking it in towards here, and then from here I am just going to mark this way. You can decide how the distance you are taking it to. Okay, so from here what I have is about 9.75 inches. Come down to say here, say 6 inches on the under bust, and I'm going to be curving this line. Let's see if this, and then from here I'm going to come down to the 21 inches. Okay, so I'm trying to use this to mark it all the way here so that it will give me the shape I want. It's not going to be completely straight, so I'm trying to use this to guide it. So now this is the shape I want to use for this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So I'm going to be using this to cut out the lace. And I'm going to be cutting it with 0.75 inches sewing allowance all around. Half an inch on this side. I'm going to place this on top of the front piece. So I'm going to open here up. And I'm going to be folding in here like so. And I'm going to iron it with 1/2 inch and then iron. Then I can take the hemming gum, this, and you can place this directly under. So I'm going to do the same thing all around. So I've gone ahead to iron it. You can see it's all part of it. So you can just, to make sure it stays, you're going to go ahead and sew on it and just follow the pattern and just sew on it, okay? And then for the back, remember there's an opening at the back. So here I am going to be opening this up. Okay, this, and then I have this place. I'm going to cut here open. So I'm going to take my paper stay, the softer one, and I'm going to iron it here. After which I am going to turn it the other way. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew the neckline, turn it and top stitch it. Okay, so I've gone ahead to sew the neckline. This is the wrong side. Like I mentioned, I ironed a strong stay on it. This is not like the very strong stay. This is the stay that is a bit soft and skin friendly, even though it's going to be in between the lining. Okay, so this is it. And also I put a hemming gum on the neckline as I sew, so that when you iron it, you're going to have a very clean and flat. Okay, so don't forget to also give it notches around the curved areas so that when you iron it, it will stay flat. So I'm going to go ahead and iron this. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to turn it to the wrong side, and I'm going to hem the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and sew it so that when you turn it inside, you have a neatly finished part. And I'll do the same thing for the back pieces as well. So I've gone ahead to iron it down. Look at how it looks after ironing. It came out perfect. Look at this, and look at the wrong side. Okay, and this is the down part. All right, so this is the back piece. I have gone ahead to, of course, I've hemmed the neckline for the back piece and also this down part. Now the reason why we have the Ankara on this lining parts for the back piece is because the front piece is going to be short and the back piece is longer, and from the front you are going to be seeing this side of the back piece. So the reason, that is why I used the main fabric to extend the lining. I could have used the lining all the way here, but that would not give me the effect I want. So when you wear the dress and this part is showing on the dress, I want what the person will be seeing will be the fabric. It will look as if there's no lining here. That is the effect it will give. So I'm going to sew the back piece, and I will sew the zipper to it, and then I will attach the pockets. So for the pockets, I've cut out the pockets. Of course, just can use your hand to just trace out any shape of pockets you want. So this is how I'm going to be sewing this. I'm going to come down from here, from the armhole. I'm going to come down to like 8.5 inches, and then I'm going to mark. You can come down to 8.5 or 9 inches depending on how tall the person is. Okay, so I'm going to place it here and I'll pin it. So I'm going to go ahead and sew it using 0.75 inches, and I'll attach this part, this one, and I'll also attach the remaining two on the back pieces just the same way. After sewing it, I'm going to open it up and iron it so that it has a neat finishing before I can start joining the back piece to the front piece. Okay, so I've attached the pocket and I've ironed it. See this? Okay. And I've also sewn the zipper. See that the pocket lines match. When you place this, the pocket matches. So I'm going to go ahead and join the shoulders. so that we can join the sleeve. I'm going to measure the waistline and I'm going to cut out bands for the waistline. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and take out the darts first for both the front piece and the back pieces. Here's the band. I've cut it out, and I also cut out the stay, and this stay is also the same one I used for the neckline. It's soft but yet thick, and I'm going to go ahead and sew it on this side, on each side, and turn it inside out and show us how we're going to attach it to the skirt part. Okay, so here's the band. I've gone ahead to sew the side, so I'm going to turn it inside out. So this is how it looks. Just pull out the edges. Now to attach it to the skirt part, I am going to be sewing this like this. I'll put it in between the lining piece, because when you place it on the lining piece, you see that there are still spaces on the side, allowances where you can use to hem the lining piece on each side. So I'm going to place this like this, place this one over it, and I'll go ahead and join the band. This is for when you are trying to completely conceal your skirt and you won't have to do any weaving. I'm going to go ahead and join and sew the band. After sewing the band, I will sew the sides, leaving 5 inches opening where I'm going to turn it inside out, and I'll sew here all the way. Also, you are going to also sew the hem. You are going to sew the hem after sewing the band. You're going to sew the hem before you start sewing the sides. Okay, so that at the end of the day you have it neatly concealed. This is what I'm talking about. I've gone ahead to sew the side, and look at this. We cut the main fabric longer than the lining piece. At the end of the day, you have it like this, and the lining piece will be all inside. So for the opening, this is the opening I left. I'm just going to turn this inside out. So this is it. So you're going to go ahead and overlock this place, the opening where you turn it inside out, and then neatly iron it. That way you have the band is concealed inside, looking so clean. You're going to iron this. I've gone ahead to iron it. Look at this. This is the back piece. Okay, look at how clean this looks. So now I'm going to go ahead and join the back pieces together. Okay, and then I'm going to attach the zipper. So this zipper is as long as this. You'll be getting somewhere around here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew from here where the zipper stops and sew all the way to somewhere around here. So I'm going to stop around from where the zip stop. I'm going to come down to like 8 inches. This is about 2 inches above the knee, because this place is the knee. The slit is starting like 2 inches above the knee, and of course it's going to be free, so it will be very comfortable to walk around in. Now this is the front part of the skirt. I have done the same thing to it. Look at how neat this looks, taking out the darts and all. Next, this is the sleeve. I've gone ahead and hemmed the sleeve and ironed it as well. And then I've joined the shoulders. I've joined the shoulders of the blouse. So next I'm going to be attaching. Look at how neat this is coming out, looking so fine. I'm going to go ahead and sew the sleeve, and then I will join the side. So I've gone ahead to sew the sleeves. I've attached the sleeves, so now I'm going to go ahead and sew the sides, and this top is going to be ready. Okay, just go ahead and follow the sides and sew it. If at this point, guys, you are yet to subscribe to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new tutorial. And also don't forget to share this video so that this community can grow. I'd really appreciate that. I want to thank all of you who take out time to leave comments in the comment section. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I like the engagement. It helps to keep the channel really active. Thank you very much for that. Okay, so look at what I have here. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the sides. Okay, for the top, we're going to be weaving the top. Only the skirt does not need weaving. And then we'll go ahead and sew this one all the way down. Now this is what I'm talking about. Look at how the top is. The front is longer than the back, as you can see. There's the effect. So we're going to be stopping here. So after weaving it, you are going to use your hemming gum to fold in here, fold in the sewing allowance like this, and iron it down so that it will have the same. It will not have any. This place will not be longer than it should be. Okay. After weaving it, also do well to iron this place down with your hemming gum. Put the hemming gum under and iron it flat so that it stays that way. It also helps for neat finishing. Okay, and then for the skirt, I have gone ahead to put my zipper. I've sewn the zipper. I'm also going to go ahead and sew the sides of the skirt, and the skirt will be ready. This skirt does not need any weaving because of the way we finished it off inside. Okay, and then for the slits, this is where the slit starts. Okay, you make sure to overlock here, double lock it so it will be strong, it will not lose easily. And then I'm going to move one of the allowance this way. I'm going to top stitch it here and then leave it that way. Okay, this one will be like this, and then the one that is under, we're going to put a hemming gum under as well to iron it down to give it neat finishing. In my classes, I give you all the tricks and tips. There is no hiding anything. I show you everything the way it is so that when you make yours, you have very good results. Okay, see you guys in my next tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like this video. Bye bye.